I met a gypsy.
Yeah, 100%. So let's talk about the Motocross of Nations thing, and then we'll go from there. So you get picked for Motocross of Nations, full sand in the Netherlands. It was Assen, right?
Yeah, so it's on top of a MotoGP track, and it's just like a crater across the road, and they just cart dirt in. Like crazy amounts of sand were brought in. But yeah, I think I don't know whether someone else got picked and then they couldn't make it. I think Toddy got picked.
Oh, that's right.
And then Toddy, because he's a weapon, was like, nah, you know what, I've done a few of these, like, let's give some of these younger guys a go.
That's right.
Which, thank you, Todd.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool of you. So yeah, I got to go. I got the call from Mark Luxich, and I was working at the farm with Dad. So we're cattle farmers, by the way. Didn't really go into that, but I was working at the farm with Dad, and he goes, "Hey Regan," and I was so excited because I knew what it was. "Hey Mark, how you going?" And he was like, "Got a question for you," and I was like, "I'm in." And he was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I'm in. I'll come." And he was like, "Oh, right. So you know what we're talking about?" I was like, "I hope so." "I hope this is what you're calling me about." And he was like, "All right, well, we need to sort some stuff out then. So send me your email and I'll send it all over to you." And I was just like, yes, going to Nations. It's like the greatest thing ever in my eyes. My whole childhood is watching Nations. Like, my dad has always taught me, this is the Olympics of motocross. This is this is the top. And for me, like, I'll never put any other series above Nations. That's pinnacle for me. That's the greatest honour you can receive in motocross racing, I would say, to be able to represent your country. And oh man, I hope I get to do it again. It was an incredible experience. Pretty unfortunate with the weather. Pretty much as we got there, it was good for the first day, and then it just started pissing down for the rest of the time. So it was pretty muddy, but the first qualification day was good. I went out and I got a pretty good start. It was my first ever mesh start. They were like, "Oh, the track's real heavy. We don't want to get your bike hot." So they wouldn't let me do a practice start.
Really?
And I'd never done a mesh start before. And I was like, "Fuck, okay." And I went on the line and I was just feeling the bike out a little bit, feeling how the grip was. Nearly pulled whole shot straight away against the guys that have done it for like years now, which was sick. And I was running third. I can't remember who it was in front of me. Two known names. And I was just cruising behind them. I was like, I feel pretty good. And I was hoping I was going to get into a nice flow after a few laps. And I probably ran third for 4 or 5 laps. And then I just had a bit of a mind blank and forgot where the track went a little bit. And I just went a little bit too inside off a single and just landed on a full fluffy sand pile on the inside of the track. And my bike went to a dead stop and I just front flipped over the bike. And the crowd went nuts when I crashed. I was like, oh, that's pretty sick. First time I've ever cheered for crashing. So I got up and I still finished 6th in that race. So that was really good, and that sort of opened up a few eyes for me with teams and stuff. They thought, okay, we'll keep an eye on him. Obviously, like the 16-year-old kid there on a 450.
That's so insane.
Yeah. So anyway, we go into the motos. In the first moto, by this time it's bucketing down, like proper rain, and I wish I had a GoPro on my helmet. I'm just looking up into the stands of like this MotoGP track, because obviously they've got massive grandstands and it's just crazy rain, thousands of people, flares, smoke bombs, like one guy had a train horn winding it up, air horns everywhere. It's like the most incredible thing. Couldn't even hear myself think. It was that loud, but I was like, this is where I need to be. This is so me. Sick. This is me right here. And anyway, I got a pretty shit start, like spun a little bit. So I come through from outside the top 30, and I rode up to, I think, 13th that first race. So that wasn't too bad.
Do you know what like your lap times were compared to people?
I don't think they were really that flash, because the top guys would have a few clear laps where they'd sort of sprint away. But like as it got really rough and everything, my lap times would start getting really good towards the end.
Yeah.
And sort of be close to them guys. I had one moment where I passed Herlings back.
Yeah, I remember
cool.
that. Yeah.
So he went past me. Where'd he go? Went past me down a straight. In a fucking straight line. So it shows how fast the bike was. And I was like, sick, Herlings. I was like, no, I'm going to pass him back. So I rode around the outside of him, standing up. Like, cool. Get to the next corner around. So it was like to go around a inside hump. And I'd just passed the Dutch hero.
Yeah.
So the crowd was going insane because it was right in front of them. And obviously it was in the Netherlands. And then there's this lapper just bogged in the middle of the track. And I just skid in, just like hit the lapper. I didn't crash, but he passed me back. And I was like, you're kidding. And my other favourite pass, it was the same corner. And Calvin Vlanderen passed me.
Yeah.
So he's Dutch as well.
Yeah.
So the home crowd, I passed him, I made it stick, I made him look stupid. And they went stupid at me. It was so good. And yeah, that was probably one of the coolest parts of it. But anyway, we went to the second moto and the same sort of deal. I slid off the start and didn't get the greatest start. Come from again, like 28th or something like that. And then I rode up to about 12th and I was trucking. I was like sick. There's Paul in front of me. I'm catching him 3 or 4 seconds a lap, like them sort of level guys, proper heavy hitters. And I was like, I'm riding up to nearly top 5 here because we still had 15 minutes or 20 minutes left of the moto, and I was just feeling myself in that moto. I was so happy, like didn't even care about all the mud, couldn't even see. And it was my first ever time riding with moose tires as well, and I didn't like them. So there was a few things I would have changed. But anyway, I was catching them dudes like 3 or 4 seconds a lap, which was sick. And I just had people cheering me, like they had no idea who I was. But they're like, who is this fluoro looking kid coming through the pack? And then my bike stopped. Just couldn't handle it.
Cooked it.
Yeah, just cooked it. It was a stock 450 with a pipe.
You did a Tomac, just used a 450.
Yeah, I did it on a stock bike, so it's a bit more acceptable.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I remember just throwing my hands up in the air like, you're kidding me. I just wanted to finish this weekend. But yeah, I pushed my bike off the track and I reckon I was shitty about it for about 5 steps. And then I looked up and people were like, yeah, Duffy, like yelling at me. And I was like, sick. Walked the next kilometre to the pits, wouldn't let anyone take my bike. I was just so happy, just pushing my bike. Like, this is the best day of my life. And I was stoked. I was so stoked. Did not care that bike had blown up. I was just like, that was amazing. These people are that cool. I never want to leave this place. All them thoughts going through my head. But yeah, I was happy pushing a blown up bike through the pits. That's
so sick, man. Yeah, I mean, crazy experience. Like there's not that many 16-year-old kids that have raced a 450 at Motocross of Nations.
No.
Like, I don't even know if there's anyone that's 16 that
would be. Europeans are next level,
mate. But in the 450 class,
who knows?
But I mean, either way, like it's super impressive.
Yeah.
What was it like being around Herlings for that moto? Like, did he check out from you pretty quick, or?
Oh yeah, when I hit that guy.
Oh yeah. So you lost him.
I lost touch with him pretty quickly.
Yeah, but what did you think about his speed and his level? Like, because it's always like you're stuck in Australia, like you're racing in Australia. There's a certain speed level, right? And I mean, I've watched so many people like Billy McKenzie. Remember when Billy McKenzie came over? At the time was like one of the fastest speed-wise in the GPs. Come to Australia, smoked everyone for a few rounds, and then slowly it's like he comes back to the level because you're just not seeing that speed. I mean, even Ando on the podcast was saying like he wouldn't ride with Marvin because it would show him the speed.
I heard that, yeah.
So it's like, could you see a different level of speed and be like, oh, fuck, I could actually do that?
Yeah, nothing that anyone was doing there was anything that I thought I couldn't do.
Really?
And honestly, it was the comfort level that I seen a difference with Herlings and everything. They were so comfy on their bike. Obviously, they ride the thing all year. They're so familiar with that surroundings. I was like a late sort of thing because Todd or someone pulled out and I was riding with Ferris's suspension, which was dog shit.
Yeah, he runs a whack suspension setup.
I don't know what it was. I just hated it at the time.
Yeah, he just runs a very different setup to other people.
Yeah, so I had that. I'd never ridden with Moose tubes before, so I felt like my tyre was rolling off the rim. And then bike was stock with a pipe. Like nothing was set up how I would have liked it. But yeah, I felt like if I was comfy, like I'm good in the mud. I knew I could have rode a lot better there. Like I was a top 10 guy, easy. But yeah, it was just a bit rushed, and that's fine. So yeah. I'll be back.
16, 450, 16, you got plenty of time.
Yeah, I'll be sweet.
So there were teams that were sort of coming knocking after that. So what was the conversations that started happening? Like I had fucking team managers in America calling me about, like it was gnarly. Yeah. So like what was the fallout from it, I guess?
Well, there was sort of chatter a little bit. Like a few people would say to me, oh, this guy wants to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of it didn't actually happen until maybe after, like they'd send an email or something. But for the day, the owner of the HRC team, he sent someone to come get me, and I was like getting ungeared and stuff. And this guy comes over and he's like, hey, Garibaldi, he wants to talk to you in the HRC truck. And I was like, fuck, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So is this actually happening? And then anyway, I got a bit cleaned up and I walked over there and met with the he's gonna kill me if he hears this, if I don't mind, like the English guy who works with Garibaldi in the HRC team.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Wayne something, I think. Anyway, he's there, and Giacomo, the owner of the team, is there, and they're just sitting at this table. So like the HRC truck, for anyone who doesn't know, is the sickest truck. It's like it's like a full restaurant in one part of it. So there's like actual restaurant tables, and they're just sitting at a restaurant table, and then they're, hey Regan, come take a seat. Anyway, shake their hands, whatever, talk to them, we've seen you did really well today, we've seen a lot of potential and whatnot, what's your plans for next year, all that sort of general talk. And then so we just sort of talked about that stuff, and I had pretty much had the opportunity to go ride for 114. Which is the satellite Honda one, right? Yeah,
Olivia
so it's under those guys, like they still run it, but it's sort of just Olivia's name, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I could have done that, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I just didn't think I was ready just yet. So that's why I went against it. But I still keep in contact with those guys now. Like, they're really cool. They still speak to me, so that's super nice of those. And then, so from there, everyone in Europe sort of just kept a bit of an eye on me, what I was doing. I had a couple other teams there, but nothing really crazy. And then F&H Kawasaki was really close. So basically, 2 weeks after my accident, I was meant to fly to Europe.
Really?
So I was like 1 or 2 days away from signing the contract with F&H to go ride on Jed's team.
Yeah, right.
In the 250 spot.
Yeah.
So that's how close that got. But as we all know, I had my accident, so I didn't get to go. But yeah, so for everyone telling me, get out of Australia, I was going to.
Yeah, okay.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.